Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with another video, and for today's video we're going to be doing a pretty exciting one that I have been doing since the very beginning of the year, and it's one of my all-time favorite ones to film for you guys and to just see it for myself, because I feel like I've gone such a long way with paying off my debt this year, and it's just really amazing to me how much I've paid towards it that in the past I hadn't even dipped into, just with the simple fact of me having a plan to pay off my debt and really making myself accountable and setting up goals for myself for future debt payments and things like that. And I think all of that has really just helped me to pay off as much debt as I have paid in the past year. So if you guys haven't noticed already, I am going to be setting up my debt snowball spread, which I have here my debt snowball tracker, as well as some extra washi from my Etsy shop. So you guys may or may not know, I do like to use the Erin Condren Deluxe Monthly Planner as my budget planner. I have been doing so for well more than a year now, and I am going to quickly just show you guys what I have set up. So what I have in this planner is my sinking funds. I have my monthly view where I keep track of my expenses, like for my cash envelopes. I have my variable income spread, which is right next to my monthly budget spread. Then after, I have my weekly check-in, and then last but not least, I have my debt snowball spread. As of now, that is how I'm using the 5 pages within the months, and as you guys can see, the next upcoming page is already for December, so there are 5 line pages in here, and it has just been working perfectly for me. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to always have it this way, because I do foresee me paying off my debt sooner rather than later, so I will definitely update you guys as to what I'm going to be doing with this page, because as my debt is getting smaller, I am not needing as much space. And although I still have like my student loans, as well as I just started financing a car that is also going to probably be in here, not 100% sure how I'm going to go about it, but I'm going to go ahead and lay down my stickers as I'm talking to you guys about this. I always forget how many credit cards I started with in the beginning of the year, but I want to say it was somewhere between 7 credit cards. If you guys have watched my very first debt tracker, where it was that I confessed to you guys my debt amount, and the very first time that I set up a plan for myself to pay off my debt, then you guys know exactly how many credit cards I had back then. Honestly, I always want to say 8, but I think it's 7 of them. But regardless of that, I am happy to let you guys know that I'm down to my very last credit card now. I was able to pay off my next debt snowball for me, which was my Bank of America card. And I was able to pay that off and also add a little bit of extra money towards my last credit card, which is PayPal credit. If you guys don't know, I am going by the debt snowball method, which how this whole thing works is you look at all of the debts that you have and you go from the one that has the least amount of balance, and then once you pay one off, you will go ahead and use that minimum payment that you were using to pay that first one and sort of snowball it to the next upcoming one. And that's sort of what I've been doing. Aside from doing the whole debt snowball method, I've also have been making additional payments, which I think this whole setup that I created for myself in the very beginning of the year for my stickers is something that works perfectly for me, and a lot of you guys really like. I like to make sort of rough drafts for every single thing that I'm going to film a video for, just so I can have sort of a plan and a setup for how everything is going to go down. So I've already done my whole rough draft, and I can go ahead and get started. I am going to write down in here my Bank of America card, because this was the very last month that I paid that one off. So let's put Bank of America. Of course, for Bank of America, like I mentioned, I was able to pay this one off. So the balance for that is $0, which makes me so happy to see that number. APR, I always think it's really important to write down the APR just to really understand how much you're paying to your creditor. And I think it really opens your eyes to, at least for me, to never wanting to get a credit card again, especially with this high of an APR. You know, I always say you live and you learn, and I have definitely learned from my mistakes with credit cards, and I can only hope to never and get into this much debt again, which I'm sure I won't. I'm pretty traumatized at this point, I think. The minimum payment for this was $29. I like to write down the minimum payment and also the additional payment. And then the additional payment, which would pay this credit card off, was $564.04. So both of these added together was the amount that I needed to pay this month to pay it off, and I was super happy that I was able to do that. I also wanted to go ahead and start making extra debt payments towards my PayPal, because that one, well, let me show you guys how much I owe in that one. For PayPal credit, I owe as of now $2,455.70. If you guys don't know, I think last month I owed $2,731.50. So as you guys can see, I did pay a pretty good chunk. You know, it's not too much, but it definitely was more than my usual minimum payment. So the APR for this one is $19.99, which I think this was the least. I think this was the lowest interest I had from all my credit cards. My minimum payment for this was $75. And in total, I made an additional payment of $246.97. And I wanted to go ahead and do so just because I was so tired of seeing that number be so high. And hopefully in December, which I have a whole debt payoff plan as to what I plan to do for December, you guys will see in a second, I want to at least bring this down to the 1000s, because I just feel like I've had this credit card for so long. I think I opened it in my freshman year of college, and I just want it gone as soon as I can, and the faster I can get it out of my life, the better. And the last thing that I have here is my biggest debt, which are my student loans. Now these are composed of 6 different student loans, which I will have a small breakdown. I like to do that just to see how I'm going to go ahead and tackle them, and I am going to go ahead and tackle them one by one as to their balance, just like I did with my credit cards. The balance for all of those, I do like to group them together. Right here is $18,355.21. I'm not going to write the APR because, like I mentioned, I've grouped about 6 student loans together, so they do have various APRs. But the minimum payment that I pay towards this is $130.77 a month, and I haven't made an additional payment. So what you would do with the debt snowball would be to pay the minimum payments on every single card, with the exception of the one that you're trying to tackle. So since I was already done paying this one off, I decided to also roll over some of that extra money that I've made from my Etsy shop, which, if you guys don't know, my only sources of income are online income, and my main one would be my Etsy sticker shop, Romina. So ever since September, I quit my part-time job because I thought that I would be able to earn more income if I focus on my Etsy shop, YouTube, and various other side hustles, and so far I've been doing pretty good. And although I haven't been able to pay off my debt as fast, I feel like for the income that I'm earning, I'm doing pretty well. So focusing on my side hustles as well as studying is my main priority as of now. I am currently doing an interpreting program to help me pass the California interpreting exam. That's also what I've been focusing on aside from these side hustles, if you guys were wondering. I feel like I've just had so much support from everyone. I feel like I went on a whole tangent there, so let me backtrack. I'm going to now take my totals little section, and I'm going to put this right here. Okay, so now I'm going to take my phone to add all of my balances, which is only 2, but they're pretty big. So we have 24.55, 70, and 18. Sorry, you guys weren't even seeing that. So my total balance as of November is $20,810 with 91 cents. APR I don't add. Minimum payments were $234 with 77 cents. And then the additional payments, let's see, for $811.01. If you guys would have seen last month's video, then you guys know that my goal for this month, I set out my goal to pay $700 towards my debt, and I did exceed that amount by at least $100 this month. And the reason why it's such an awkward number is because by the time that I was done paying for the balance I had on my Bank of America card, I believe that they still were going through the process of providing the accrued interest for that. So I ended up paying that, which was $11.01. So I just went ahead and added that in there, and that's why that's such an awkward number, if you guys were wondering. So now that I have this, I'm now going to do my student loan breakdown. Okay, so let me write student loan breakdown. And once again, I like to do this just so I can really look into the future and see how much I'm really going to have to pay per loan. Sorry, I can't even spell apparently. There you go. Okay, that was kind of ugly. That's okay, guys. So I've categorized them by letters. So we're doing A through F. I've started with the one with the least amount. So student loan, I'm going to write all of them actually right now. So student loan A, I owe, as of my last payment, $1,125.76. The interest for this is 4.04%. Next we have student loan B, which is $2,409.38. This one is 4.41%. Next up, I have my student loan C, which this one I owe $2,531 on the dot, and this one is 4.8% interest. Next up, let me write all of these. Student loan D. Okay, student loan D, I owe $3,463.96, and the APR for this one is 4.04%. Next, student loan E, I owe $3,464.53. These are always on each other's toes. This one is 4.41. Sorry if you missed that, guys. My camera ran out of battery, but that one ended up being a 4.2% interest. So now that I have that all done, I'm going to go ahead and just use some more of this decorative washi. I really just like to make my planner pretty, so we're going to separate it here with this little heart sweater print, and then I think I'm going to use the other washi just because I have it here. And we're going to now do my debt payoff plan. So my debt payoff plan is not going to be too crazy, of course, because there's only 1 month left in 2019, which is so crazy to me. I still can't believe that. Definitely stay tuned for my debt payoff plan of 2020, where I will see if by then I'll be combining every single one of the debts that I have. And honestly, I think that once, well, I don't know when I'm gonna pay off my debt. I just have one of these that I made for myself, by the way. I don't know when exactly I'm gonna pay off my debt, but I like to have a plan, and I feel like once I do end up paying it off, which I definitely am speaking that into existence, I'm gonna miss making these videos. I'm all acting like I'm never going to make these videos again. Okay, stop. Okay, and to symbolize the months, I'm going to use these. These are by Erin Condren. These are the 2019 mini calendar sticker pack, and yeah, I believe they just came out with one for 2020, so I just like to use flags to symbolize each of the months. And I'm going to just write it right here. So for November, I hope that's okay. Okay, so for November, my total payments for my cards were $915.01. I usually would not count every single thing together, but since I did make additional payments to both of my last credit cards, I am going to include it for the month of November. And now 593 with 4 cents of that were to pay off Bank of America, and then 321 with 97 cents I put towards PayPal, towards that debt. So I'd like to definitely have a place for the money that I am setting the goal for. And let's say for December, now that I'm fairly close to the month, I kind of have an idea of how much I want to set my goal to. Of course, this goal can change within 1 month, within 5 months. I know I like to do my debt payoff plans at most 6 months in advance, just because obviously you can't really anticipate for 12 months in the future, but things can change and that's totally fine. So for myself, I think last month, I always like to look at last month just to see how much I set my goal to be. So yeah, for October I had set my goal for December to be $650, but I think I'm going to up that just a little bit to $700. Hopefully I will be able to put more towards this debt, but I think with $700 I will be good with the sort of internal goal that I have to bring this down to the 1,000. So that is a-okay with me, and I'm just gonna go ahead and write that those $700 are going towards PayPal. It's not going towards paying it off yet, but hopefully in 2020 I will be all done with paying off my credit cards, which is so emotional for me, but I'm really happy about it. All I really want to do is to thank you guys, because if it wasn't for you guys, I still probably would be in my part-time job and I wouldn't be able to pay as much debt as I've paid so far. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I know I'm going to be uploading this on Black Friday, so I do want to go ahead and mention that. Let me go ahead and just zoom out just a little bit. I am currently having a Black Friday sale. All of my shop is going to be 20% off up until midnight tonight Pacific Standard Time. So make sure if you're still on time to get something and you're maybe intrigued or interested in picking up some of my stickers, go ahead and do so. I will leave a link for my shop down below. For the sale, it is 20% off, no minimum automatically on any order you make, but let's say you end up making an order of $15 or more, you can go ahead and use the code BFriday25 to get 25% off your order. I just want to go ahead and let you guys know, because I will be uploading this video on Black Friday. So if you guys end up watching it after, I'm so sorry, but just stay tuned if you guys are interested in future sales. I usually end up posting them first to my patrons, but then to my Instagram at Romina Plants. So with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for all of your support. Please don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel if you guys are not subscribed already, and hopefully I will get to see you guys on my next video. Bye guys.